So the female Gooners must be stopped video from Shoe on Head. Now, there are a lot of female Gooners out there. They're probably the most degenerate out of some groups that I know and follow. I don't follow a lot of groups. I don't follow. You know what? Let's just get into the video. Female Gooners must be stopped. What's she reading? Is that a Minotaur? Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, I didn't see you there. What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now, with millions of sales and almost 20,000 5-star reviews. This book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on TikTok, or BookTok, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women, in particular, have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course.
Morning Glory Milking Farm. Yo, some of these girls are crazy. I thought I was a degenerate. Yo, these girls are straight up crazy. Have you not heard of the literary master Chuck Tingo? Who? That's the reason why the male loneliness epidemic is happening, is because all these girls want to have sex with minotaurs. They're actually furries.
A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans. No, I'm
That's
just kidding.
crazy.
She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
I can see them doing that. I'm playing Silent Hill F right now, and there's a masked fox guy, and this Japanese lady literally succumbs herself to body torture so she can have sex with him. That's crazy.
That's right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night, and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
If this book is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon.
Oh my God! What's? This is the reason why there aren't men. The men are freaking going crazy because these women want to have sex with freaking cows.
Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this because it is so good.
I regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female Gooners.
I'm reading what I read.
I'm gonna blame this epidemic on Stephanie Myers. I'm gonna blame these. Look at her crazy eyes. Look at this crazy woman's eyes. I'm gonna blame it on Stephanie Myers for making Twilight. Don't ask me how I know that name. Don't ask me if I'm gay. All right? Who? Don't worry about it. Stop. Don't ask questions. Stephanie Myers made Twilight.
Now, for those of you unaware, Gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels, otherwise known as porn.
I don't think even Madame Savvy is this degenerate that she wants to like milk a centaur or like a minotaur. Like she likes BL yaoi stuff. okay, that's pretty degenerate. Never mind.
Correct about the dangers of porn addiction with men, how it can destroy their lives and their relationships, and most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode.
Incognito doesn't actually hide your ISP from being tracked. And another thing is that deleting your browser history, that like you don't have to do that. There's actually a setting on Google Chrome, Brave, or any other web browser. When you automatically close your browser, it automatically deletes everything. You got to be smart. You got to be ahead of the curve.
But these bitches freaks out here. They
That's
display
true.
their smut openly in bookstores.
Okay, hear me out. These are literal is that a spider? That's a spider. Is that a snake?
They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by nuns and tall shirtless wendigos. Now, I know what you are thinking. Shu, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered it takes one to truly know one? You see, women are strange, fat.
Shoe on head. I gotta ask you, Shoe. Why do you have that book? Why do you have that book? That's the question here.
Fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides and the moon. We bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical.
Asian men can paint their face and go from a 4 to a 10. That's why I don't go on the internet as often as I do anymore. It's because it's so easily, you can easily get catfished. Stephanie, my nerdy home, she sends me a bunch of these. And now it's in my Instagram algorithm. Instead of seeing racist, big titty stuff, now I get, welcome to Thailand. Welcome to Bangkok. It's going to take me a while to cleanse that away from my algorithm.
Creatures. But one of the most mysterious aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting.
Moxie Dame with the $10. Chuck Tingle, you're ready to level up. Oh no. Here. All right. I'll look up Chuck Tingle right now on my phone. Chuck. Not Chuck Schumer. Get out of here. I don't want to see that guy. What? Baseball hits a home run into my butt. Slammed in the butt by my Hugo Award nomination. The fear of the unknown gives my butt pause, but when I realize how powerful and unique I am, we pound enthusiastically. Bisexually satisfied by my heal thy work-life balance. And there's a coconut. Pounded in the butt by my wolf car on the full moon. I can't believe it. That oh my god, that's so gay. So gay.
Moids, no, we are sophisticated. We are evolved. We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different, okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster.
Oh, wait, what
Let's
happened?
take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things aren't important, trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know it can be difficult to do, but fear not.
It's a lot.
I have an app for that.
Oh!
So before we get into this
Good
video, let's
segue.
quickly give a shout out to our sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which
is pretty
shows you
good.
news stories that have been covered by one side of the political aisle and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Gavin Newsom is signing a bill to give 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize.
What?
Pretty cool. Rare Newsom W. 12 news sources covered this, 7 were left-wing and 0 were right-wing, because the right is covering a far more important topic. Harvard hires drag performer Lahore Vagistan.
That is definitely way more important. Lahore Vagistan is a crazy name.
As a visiting professor. 21 news sources covered this, 20 were right-wing, 1 was left-wing. A country divided, truly. Ground News also makes it very easy to
We don't
compare
skip the ad
headlines,
read.
so you can see how political bias
Shoe on head does not
completely
like that.
reframes a story. For example,
She yells
talking
at you.
about how Trump has
I'm gonna
been
get DM
posting
from
a bunch
her.
of those sombrero memes, and the New York Post says White House official behind Trump's hilarious meme war on Dems revealed. And then a left-wing outlet covers the same story, like, as the shutdown continues, a checked-out Trump posts childish memes. Wildly different vibes going on here. I've been using Ground News since 2021. It is one of my favorite apps. Like, it is my go-to, like, when I wake up. I, like, check Twitter, and then I check Ground News, like, immediately. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing
40%?
features. And it's only $5 a month, which
That's
is like
basically free!
the price of a coffee nowadays. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
See?
Right?
See?
So let's get back
That's why
to
we
the
don't
video.
skip it.
Book Talk is a very interesting place, and any book fans out there know how it has
In a
absolutely
children's book?
destroyed the hobby of literature and just flooded it with absolute slop. Spicy slop. You see, books on TikTok are not rated by how well they are written or how good the characters are. No, they are rated by the spice. And what does spice mean? Porn. It means porn.
Written
Spice
porn.
level is very important to book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the spiciest books they have ever read? How spicy is the book they're currently reading? Spice, spice, spice. And the spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta.
Why do you have it? Does she read Gooner smut too?
Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Oh
Of course.
my God.
Of course.
She's just like me! On the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef. Oh God, with the manly meaty endowments to... Okay.
I'm going to finish reading it. You're not going to do it? We got to do it. With the manly, meaty endowments to match, milking minotaurs isn't something Violet ever considered as a career option, but she's determined to turn the opportunity into a reversal of fortune. I probably shouldn't have read that.
Oh god. With the manly, meaty endowments to... Okay.
Morning Glory Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity.
What?
In this text, we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
What?
This is every fucking breadtube video to me, dude. This is every...
How do you how does that relate? I don't get it.
Jack Saint video. So I actually read the book myself, and I'm not gonna lie.
Please
The
don't.
19th Amendment needs to be abolished.
Let's go! Let's go! Shoe is based! Abolish the 19th!
So, like I said, the story is basically this millennial named Violet, and she gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest Minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males. And I read the whole thing. Probably gonna be put on some kind of watch list. But listen, this is my job,
crazy.
okay? I'm not out here like selling feet pics or something. What I do is far more dignified and normal. Now let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote. Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point she says the term, and I quote, the seam of his sack. So I'm reading this and the whole...
Look. We all know that's where God was like, you know what? You know, we're just going to stitch this up together. we're just going to stitch this up together. What about this loose end that looks like the end of a balloon? Just invert that shit and call that the asshole. What about the seam between the space in between? Just call it the perineum. It's fine.
whole time I'm thinking like, okay, he probably has like a human head, right? He probably like looks something like this, like, you know, just a dude with like horns. Then I see the official artwork. That's a cow.
What? That is the official art. I don't know what to say. The fact that this is one of their best-selling books of all time is this is what happens when you allow people like Stephanie Meyers. Hey, I'm just gonna make a book about, you know, fantasizing about being a vampire, right? And then like 50 Shades of Grey was like, oh, let's do that, but with like, you know, abuse and shit like that. And then this girl was like, I'm gonna do one better. Let's make one about a horse. Let's make one about a fucking bull. That's crazy.
Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few parts, they're being intimate, and it will be like, his hooves clip-clopped. My hooves will tear up your sheets. And it's like, I'm sorry, his what? At one point, she describes kissing him, and I swear to God, it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is and how big and like slimy his tongue is.
Yeah, isn't this bestiality? 100% it is. Yo, what that white tongue do though? And here's the thing, cow tongues are long. According to what I heard.
She's like describing the shit and you're just like, That's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbeau scale here. This is dangerous territory, folks. She also f***ers his ass.
What?
The cow's ass. By the way, if you want an uncensored version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon, become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video.
That's what happens in these books?
So you can hear me talking about f***ing and f***ing a cow's asshole. Is that what you freaks want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy world student loans still exist. Like, we can imagine a world with minotaurs and humans in a relationship, but we can't imagine a world without student loans. Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bull rings, like the nose ring theory septum rings.
Oh,
And in this world, that
no.
means like you're married, but apparently he's divorced. The man is divorced. This is a divorced cow with a cow ex-wife. The lore is deep, folks. The funniest part, though, has to be when they go on a date. I need to just read this to you. When
No!
the bill arrived, she attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night and shouldn't have. Violet. If the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her, the heat of his hand dropping to her knee would have. I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards.
That is fucking cringe writing, man. This is some like sick, like wet dream fanfic bestiality all mixed together. This is what? That is wild, man. Yo, SJ Doll, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. And Celluloid, thank you so much for the 5. The hair kind of looks like you. No, that's not my hair. I don't have bull hair.
Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me so. But that's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no, you can say you don't want to see me again, you can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment of your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story.
The fact that you have this like porno, like softcore music in the background it's getting me very, I don't know how to feel. I don't like it.
She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, she would have fallen face first on his cock.
Yeah, man. We don't. Yeah. Female gooners. Yeah. This needs to stop. All right. Can we just stop? You'll just bring in AI already. We don't need any. Yeah. That's crazy. It's like, oh, I'm gonna suck on that bull's penis right here and now. That's wild.
An open mouth without a shred of hesitation. Inside every woman, there are 2 wolves. Or 2 bulls. The strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife. And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a lawn chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down
Factory
payment
set's
for your
great.
time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
This lady just literally had an orgasm reading it.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I thought of it.
She needs a
But
towel.
what did other people think of it? What are the reviews on this book? This book has a 4.1 on Amazon.
How's it rated that high? 21,000 reviews? Best book talk? 1 out of 5 Cambric Creeks. That is 1 out of 5. There are 5 books for monster romance. You remember when white liberal women obsessed over the pink Stanley Cups, Pepperidge Farm members? Yeah. That's oh my God, man. Yeah. So this is why women don't want other jobs than to be secretaries for the past like hundreds of years. Where's my review? It's not gonna happen.
With 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads with nearly 60,000 ratings. Let's just read some random ones here. Hear me out. Hear me out. A milking good time.
Oh,
Sweet
no.
and creamy. The
What?
spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just going to be porn. The plot is pretty good. The plot? Please.
Yo, that's what I say every time when I watch what's it called again? Like you know, I read like Playboy magazine back in the day, right? When I would watch porn or hentai, right? Yeah, watch it for the plot, read it for the plot. There's actually a r/read it or watch it for the plot. Like there's actually subreddits and websites for this kind of shit. You ain't fooling nobody.
It's like the new, I read Playboy for the articles, like...
That's exactly what I do.
Sure you do. This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars, I'll never look at a jug of milk the same. I think I'm lactose intolerant now. So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1 star, not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow, and now my family has no food for the winter.
I guarantee you, these ladies legit go on to R34 videos and go there and look for like freaking like having sex with a horse or some shit like that, man. That's crazy.
1 star, accidentally ordered while on pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift for Christmas. You what? Lesai. Why can't human males be more like this? Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough, boys. Now you have to be a 9-foot tall creature from Greek mythology with a 13-inch dick. I never want to hear from another person about how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back to Barely Legal Babysitter 5 or whatever the f you watch that is so morally superior than this.
Is that the one where like Jessie Jane, you know, rest in peace, like she comes in as a babysitter because like the wife is trying to hook him up because his fantasy was always to hook up with a babysitter when he was young, and then okay, never mind, forget it.
Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless America. It's great to live in a country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica about a young woman who milks her way to financial security and true love with a minotaur. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like, I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie.
You know what? Like, yeah, maybe communism is a good thing. This is crazy. This is what happens. This is what happens when you allow like crazy women to like vote and like, you know, oh, you know, they're just doing fan fiction or whatever. Like this started off guaranteed as like a blog, and people started, it's like, oh, this is really good. You should make this into a novel and shit like that. And the fact that they're being sold is wild.
Maybe we should have less of it. All I know is if Donald Trump takes the monster porn, we are going to make 2020 look like a picnic, okay? Bull matters. Oh my god. Edit that out. Editor, edit that out.
The fact that you said that is crazy.
Animal Farm now, like, where's the horse cock? Some of you people always scream an apology because this book has way too many 5 stars. Some of you are lying. So after buying this book, Amazon has given me a few interesting recommendations. Would you like to see them?
Oh,
I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That time I got drunk and saved a demon. Gentling the Beast.
I remember I watched a clip on Beauty and the Beast and it's like a kid and like a boy and his mother watching the trailer and comparing the original Beauty and the Beast to the live action Beauty and the Beast. And the mom literally said, that beast looks pretty good. Like, I can go on a date with him. And the son literally went, this is the same people. And I guarantee you, Belle is a furry. All right. Remember, Belle fell in love with Beast in his beast form. All right. She would have went after his penis. 100%. And then he turned into a man and now he's ugly.
Cupcakes for my orc.
What? This is literally Shrek. See? Moxie said Beast as human was a downgrade, unfortunately. I'm not wrong here. Belle was down with the red rocket. That is fucking crazy. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Enemy, main of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The widow and the orcs.
This is some like World of Warcraft Shrek like kind of thing, man.
Hoarded by the dragon.
Dragon
There's something about
sex?
dragons. Getting it on with gargoyles. Gotten by the gator.
I guarantee you there have definitely been some females watching Gargoyles, the TV show, and it's like, man, I would love to have sex with Goliath. Man, he turns rock hard when the sun comes up. Man.
Mated to the mountain bear. Oh, so this is why they chose the bear. The billionaire orc. Moth managed
What?
wolves and whipped cream.
Why are some of these girls so fat? Wolves and whipped cream.
The wolf in my tavern. Pounded by produce. Oh.
Fuck this. We're screwed. This generation of women are screwed. And do you know who's being affected? Men. Men. Men were being screwed. Women would rather have sex with actual tomatoes than go out with actual guys. By the time she's done with the cucumber, it's a pickle.
What? Are these the books the Nazis burned?
My husband only reads finance and sci-fi books, and so I think it's about time that I introduce him to some real literature.
No,
so
don't do it.
That I would like to introduce you to.
Don't do it.
Morning Glory Milking Farm.
What? Why would you do that? You're a terrible wife.
And it's not a normal milking farm like with cows. What it is it's big, bulky minotaurs, and it's a special type of milking.
See, honey, she's his stepsister, and she got stuck in the washing machine again. Women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy
That's
books like A Court of Thorns and
crazy.
Roses and Fourth Wing contain descriptions of hot sex. I feel like that's common knowledge, if not their primary purposes. But in recent months, book talk has become full of men clutching their pearls while reacting to steamy scenes from these popular female-centered books. Obviously, this is all a massive performance. We live in the age of OnlyFans. The odds are that these men have seen actual porn that defies the laws of physics and God. Over 90% of men between the ages 6
Yo, I'm a regular bitch guy, okay? All I want to see are women with big asses and big titties. All right? No fudas. No hermaphrodites. No chicks with dicks. Just straight porn. Nothing else. Maybe some hot lesbian porn from time to time, tripping one another. That's about it. I'm a simple guy. These people are crazy. Yo, Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, you got to get rid of them. Films like big peckers. Let's continue the video.
1673 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of these guys are shocked by the sex itself. What they are gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire, scenes that depict women coming first and frequently. And what they are surprised by is the women they know love these scenes. In one video, a guy declares, "Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine," but his astonishment in itself is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine? Grow up. Imagine a group of men sitting around drinking wine, discussing the porn they watch. That is what you guys...
No, we don't do that shit, man. We don't even sit around one another and watch. I do not watch porn with other guys because, like, whenever, like, my friend would turn on, like, Girls Gone Wild when I was in, like, you know, middle school and shit like that, he'll have Girls Gone Wild on and shit like that, some random porn in the background, some hentai and stuff like that. Like, for me, I get uncomfortable because I know they have a boner. And I don't want to be in the same room with another guy that has a boner. Look up Emily Willis today now.
Are essentially doing. It's just funny, okay? Like, it's funny. Are we really
I'm not falling
going to
for that.
pretend that a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is not funny? It's funny. If that makes me a sexist or misogynist, you got me. To act like you are so different and above the other Gooners is just, it's silly. I'm sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latinas in Space 12. You're sitting there all high and mighty, one hand on the book, acting like you're so superior because you can perfectly envision a horse cock spinning.
It's like that freaking, they think they're like Gus Fring, right? It's like you watch heterosexual porn with a girl, cowgirl, you know, riding a straight male, and I enjoy porn with a girl milking a minotaur. We are not the same. It's like these people think they're literally better than you because they enjoy a different type of porn, right? I heard of teenage dudes that would put pillows between them and watch. I will immediately leave the room, right? Immediately when I start hearing the steel drums and Girls Gone Wild's best breast on campus, and then I see another guy over there, I immediately leave the room.
360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy, but purely in terms of the acts being described, they aren't all that lurid. And as many of the comments on these videos point out, there's much wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not yet discovered nodding, a popular term in romantasy right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides.
What? Every day we stray further from God.
Oh, honey, that's not a popular trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs do. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what nodding is. What are these women reading, bro?
Why would you know what that is?
Corny Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy. What happened to that? We used to make fun of that. We truly did not know what we had until it was gone. Now women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and people were like, oh my god, this is so crazy.
It's 50 Shades of Grey, right? But like people, it's like 50 Shades of Grey and like Twilight. And that's already, like, for me, is pretty out there, right? But they're still humans, at least, right? They're humanoids. There are the vampires that are once humans. Dogs getting nodding up a whole lot. Is that like, you know, when you pop a Viagra and, like, you know, you have an erection more than 3 to 4 hours, you know, contact your doctor immediately, like that?
Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionary sex through a bedsheet for the sole purpose of procreation compared to the shit the average woman on TikTok is reading. At least Christian Grey was a human man and not a fucking dog.
Yes!
And fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl. You know, she's innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls, like going out clubbing and hooking up with random men. No, she's at home, curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book, except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on a little secret. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding me? It's not even close.
Yes, that is the unfortunate pause.
The average hoe.
Okay, 100%. Like these girls who are, it's because like they read all these stories and stuff like that, and they picture. It's like these quiet girls. Like I said, they're freaks in the sheet. They're crazy. They literally come in like a full fur costume. They go, all right, pet me. If you pet me right now, I'm literally gonna lose my mind.
Might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu. That is at least 100 bodies. Now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with role play. You know, fiction is fiction, right? You know, you're not actually going to bang your stepsister, right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow, or at least I hope not.
I've been on the internet for quite some time. I've been on the internet since like 1996, 97, where things online were not curated, were not censored. And I seen some freaky ass shit these girls do. Back in the Napster days, when you can download videos that took like 3 hours to download like a 20-second clip, or maybe even, 4 hours to download a 10-second clip. These women will do crazy ass shit.
We all know there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality? Well, you get Sinners and Stardust.
Huh? What? Sinners and Stardust. Tickets go on sale October 4th. Oh, I guarantee you there'll be girls right here who want to fuck Pyramid Head. Easy.
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right? Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his dick? Hello?
What? What?
We think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an AirTag was tracking him.
These people are crazy. These people are out of control. I guarantee this happens all the time at FurryCon. Dude, Furry got mounted all by the crazy. That's wild.
which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this guy until he passed out from anxiety, and then they put a f***ing tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel. This poor guy dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago, there was this thing called cosplay is not consent. Basically, it was a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent.
Yeah, I would never do that, is because I don't go to conventions. And if I do go to conventions, I don't even dress up. And I just go there, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, I like most of the time they're a bunch of like furries and weird people there. From time to time, you get some like hot chicks that dresses up really, they look really hot or cute or whatever. But like I'm not one of those people who will like wait in line for like Vampy to like, oh, I want to get a picture of you, right? I want to get your autograph or anything like that. Like I would never do that. Like the only time I've ever done like waiting at a convention to meet someone, like in terms of like actual like anime convention, like it was at Space Con, but that was to meet Gina Carano, and I was able to get like to the front of the line because Jay was able to get me there, right? But like, would I actually go and meet up with like Shibuya Kaho, Hannah Bunny, or or any of these like other like big booby cosplayers? Probably not. Like but even touching them, what makes you think that you have the right to touch them? That's crazy.
Apparently we have to bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur.
Of course, it's on Reddit. Of course, this is on Reddit.
Cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly, I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like, me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all. When the furries are calling you out for being freaks, you need to reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong. Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, my words did nothing. May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay? For books. Literal BDSM clubs.
I guarantee you, like the adult like award shows with like people who are in the porn industry probably has way better like personal boundaries and spaces than these furry like book conventions and shit like that. That is absolutely insane.
Are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains, because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for EV magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms.
See, like, immediately I make sure that I don't say that person is hot, just in case they're a transgender. Like, I need to make sure that I don't say anything crazy, is because you know, like, oh, that person looks pretty good, and you're like, oh, that's a guy. So I don't say anything anymore.
Neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest. Scientists, psychologists, and the general public often state that men are visual and women are emotional. When it comes to sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image despite their mood, and women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood.
Burn too many times? No. You said you would to Blair White. I said, no, I didn't say that. Unless it's wearing a red, white, and blue bikini, right, Phil? No, but you like Fudas? No! I never said any of that. Today.
So it stands to reason that porn for men is visual and porn for women is in the mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels, because one is a video of two people actually having real sex and the other is, well, just words on paper. I am, however, talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by Gooners who don't want to give it up. But is reading smut bad? You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase, is reading smut harmful? Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful?
Is smut harmful? I think for me, I think it can lead to a, I guess I'm gonna quote some of the woman, all right? I guess you would say the unobtainable, I can't become half Minotaur. I can't become half Wendigo or half Bat, right? Like, I'm already half Simpsons, but like, that's at most you'll get. But like, it's like, getting a better body, working out, taking care of yourself, getting breast implants or whatever that is, right? That's possible for you to do, right? It's just you don't want to do it or you don't need to do it. It doesn't really matter what it is, but like I can't become an animal.
In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed. I'm not equating monster smut with these things, but there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful. Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence is not healthy. Basically,
that's
they're
true.
cooked. Like, women are cooked. They are frying their brains with this stuff. It's a pipeline, right? It's like the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You know, you start watching Shoe on Head, owning the feminists in 2015, and then in 2025, you're hailing Hitler, right? You know, the alt-right pipeline. And this—
So wait. So if I like Kanye West and I like his new song, I'm not saying I do, but there's a remix of it where it's like a club mix. You know, like, does that make me alt-right? Right?
This one's like you're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next thing you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just
Mrs. Hands. Look, there are so many like R34 stuff, like for that kind of shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know firsthand, but like I know, by sort of firsthand, sort of. It's not like I look it up or anything. It's just forget it.
say no. Just say no to monster porn. But why is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see the opposite, and when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs, or like a 10-foot tall dommy mommy vampire with giant—
See, I like, here's the thing, right? Lady Dimitrescu is at least like humanoid and human looking, right? It's not like, oh, I want to have sex with Lady Dimitrescu in her dragon form. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I hell no. Stay in the big titty form. Who's Mrs. Hands? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do chat. Do not Google Mr. Hands, who basically died from having a horse ram into his asshole.
Meanwhile, women are like, I want to the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So
what?
People on Reddit asked this very
Her
question.
daughters are hot. That's true too.
The responses. Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons. One, human men are quite often terrible. Romance books with human men are already partly fantasy, but monsters just takes the fantasy bit further.
Of course.
Two, it's sort of human nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures. We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries. It's just gotten a lot more graphic now, lol. 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of dicks.
Of course, it's on Reddit. These people are crazy. And these unobtainable, like, bodies, we cannot become a fucking animal. All right? And that's the reason why there is a male loneliness epidemic, is because of these crazy ass women.
Scary, mean, terrifying creature is sweet to her, kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc. Maximal escapism, minimal association.
How do I know about Mr. Hands? I've been on the internet for quite some time, so I know who that is. Yeah, he died.
To real life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny, and oppression of women, etc., etc. Because the monsters are less dangerous.
Have a good night,
than
Max.
dating actual
Moxie
men.
Dame.
As a fat woman,
Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you.
Modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances
great night.
are hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic. And romance in real life is not always attainable for fat women/women of color.
Jeez.
In monster alien romance,
Alien
though,
sex.
size doesn't matter. And
Oh. There's a bar out in Mars. Pocket on deck. Tell me what's next, alien sex. I control you. I tell you what to do, what to do, what to do. Take me, take me, infect me with your poison and fill me with your love. And that's a freaking Katy Perry song.
easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it. I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety. Non-humans haven't betrayed and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven, if that makes sense.
Animals cannot consent. What?
Plus the unusual dick. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks. I love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. A lot of women's smut, especially monster smut, is about submission,
Kanye was in that song? That's true.
domination, forced breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and overpowered by these monsters.
Yeah, they
And
want
I
monster.
think many
They
of
want
these
monster
women
cocks.
are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But
Yes.
the truth is,
You remember they say it says toxic masculinity and basically working out and getting buff is basically a sign of you being right wing. And if you want a family and kids and stuff like that, that is considered freaking white supremacy and shit like that. So we have already been demonized. We just want a regular girl with big ass titties and big ass and a fat ass that takes care of herself, that looks good, that doesn't have a penis. We want trad wives. It's that simple. I you know, that's the reason why I'm like I have a trad wife. But now everything of that is demonized and all these crazy. These are all. If you can actually think about this, what's one commonality of all these women enjoying this kind of stuff? Liberal white women. Not white. Most of them aren't white, but liberal Karens.
many women still crave it. You see, the monsters
Yeah, not
in these
fat. Yeah,
stories
also
have those,
not
like,
fat.
dominant masculine traits that women like so much, but they're not human men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring, without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the perfect guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man. They want to tame a wild dominant man. Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you
Well, that's the reason why, like, girls like the bad boys. It's because they want to be able to tame them. I can fix them. There's this, like, fucking, like, sexual kink with them. Like, guys have it too, but girls are notorious for going after bad guys, right? You guys have seen this in movies and TV shows and probably even experienced it in your own personal life, right? The reason why all these bad boys get all the good girls is because they're the bad boys all the good girls want. There's actually a fucking song about it. Right? So these good girls, these like girls next doors, these awesome like 7, 8s, and 9s and shit like that, even some of them are 10s, they go for these bad boys, these boys that are terrible for them, is because they want to tame them. They want to be able to fix them or whatever it is, right? They want to nurture that shit, right? It's a kink for them. It's a turn on.
can save her from her daddy issues. You can do it. It definitely won't backfire and ruin your life. Go for it. Go talk to her. With many women, there's this desire for like danger and aggression, but
there it
also
is.
the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman who can melt his heart.
Yeah, like, and that's the reason why, like, Twilight's a thing, right? 50 Shades of Grey is a thing, right? It's always like the bad boys with the leather jacket that had a messed up family, rides a Harley at like fucking high. He does not go to class. He has failing grades. He has terrible relationship with his parents, right? But he's the bad boy and girls want to fix them.
My dragon boyfriend could rip me to shreds and kill me instantly, but he won't because he's nice and he loves me. But honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you want to rape a disabled girl? When in reality, it was just a distilled manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to protect and provide for a sweet woman and save her. This is like basically the flip of that, right?
Yep.
This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy. Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur? When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in that video, they're basically both the same fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon and the knight sits in the corner and watches or something, I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe it's not that deep. There are some hungers better starved than fed. And maybe as women, for the sake of society, we have to starve our hunger for minotaur p***ness.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's the moral of this video. So what do you guys think? What is your theory? Why is the
Why is she wearing a onesie?
monster romance genre so popular with women in particular? And who is your weirdest hear me out? Be honest. I don't want to hear no Lola Bunny, okay? You all know mine already.
What? She wants to have sex with the fish from Finding Nemo? Look, Lola Bunny is like regular stuff, right? Lola Bunny is like, yeah, we see it. Yeah, Lola Bunny, Lopunny, you know, Vaporeon, Gardevoir. We all know that, right? Like, but yo, I remember that squirrel, a female squirrel from Sword in the Stone. And when King Arthur had to turn back into a human and she started crying, I remember as a kid, I was like, I would stay as a squirrel to be with you. That or Nala from Lion King. That's a no-brainer. She gave me them bedroom eyes. Bedroom eyes. Now here's the thing though. This is we're talking about hypothetical if you are the same animal as the you are the same animal, okay?
It's not that he's a fish, okay? He has an energy, okay? He has a vibe.
Sure.
You know what? Never mind.
She likes the scars on the side of his body, right? He has scars, right? You want to see how I got these scars? And she's like, whoa, he's a bad boy.
I will see you guys again really soon with a new video. Bye!
Yeah, this was a wild video. This was a wild video. All right. So here's the video. Go and give it a like. That is
Bowman is a progressive, by the way. He's
of
a
course.
He voted for Hillary.
Of course.
He would have voted for Obama 3 times if he could.
Yeah, of course. These are books made for liberal Karens, okay? These are literal books made for liberal women. Absolutely nuts. That's crazy. What was the conclusion? I don't know. I don't know what the conclusion was, but the conclusion is women have crazy fantasies, men have crazy fantasies, but women's fantasies are absolutely insane. That's about it. That's about it.